The government on Monday introduced 4 bills in the Lok Sabha which will help in the rollout of the landmark goods and services tax across the country. The bills that were tabled will fix the maximum rate of general sales tax at 40%, besides ensuring the setting up of an anti-profiteering authority and arrests for evading taxes. There were, however, loud protests from the opposition, which said it was not listed in the day's House agenda. Countering this, Minister of State for Parliamentary Affairs said the bills were uploaded on the government's website at midnight on Friday. The opposition members of Parliament wondered how the government expected members to check the website at midnight and asked why the issue was not discussed at the meeting of the Business Advisory Committee last week. Speaker Sumitra Mahajan dismissed the opposition objections, saying the bills were sent to the members on Saturday morning and there was nothing wrong in these being tabled. General sales tax, which has been touted as the biggest tax reform since independence, has entered the last lap, and its passage by Parliament will pave the way for integrating India as one tax country, wherein multiple state and central levies would be replaced by a single tax. The bills were introduced as money bills in the Lok Sabha, which means the Rajya Sabha can debate on them, but its vote was not binding for their passage. According to the statement of objects and reasons of the Integrated General Sales Tax Bill, the Integrated Goods and Services Tax Bill provides for tax on all interstate supplies of goods and services or both, except supply of alcoholic liquor for human consumption at a rate to be notified not exceeding 40% as recommended by the GST Council. Finance Minister Arun Jaitley introduced a central goods and service tax which will amalgamate all indirect central government levies. It is a reform that was long overdue. The attempt to suicide will not be considered a crime anymore, with Parliament adopting the Mental Health Care Bill 2016. Decriminalization, the suicide bid, is a step in the right direction to make the penal code reflect the realities of modern times. A truly caring and progressive society must treat the persons in distress with empathy and understanding and not punish them for resorting to the extreme step of trying to take their own lives out of hopelessness and desperation. A significant feature of the new legislation, which garnered bipartisan support, is that it repeals Section 309 of the Indian Penal Code that stipulates a year-long imprisonment for a failed suicide bid. This reflects a truly humane approach towards people in distress and those who are pushed to the edge after losing all hopes in life. They need care and compassionate intervention, but not incarceration. Some tentative attempts were made in the 1970s to decriminalize the attempt to suicide, but without any success. Viewing suicide bid as a criminal act will actually accentuate the trauma of survivors and make their lives miserable, having to deal with police and courts. The obnoxious IPC provision actually hinders people in distress from receiving help they need. The new law is a welcome move as it seeks to remove the stigma attached to the suicide bid. According to the National Crime Records Bureau, over 1 lakh people commit suicide every year in India. Of the 1.31 lakh people who killed themselves in 2014, over 40% were youth in the age group of 14 to 30 years. Since a person resorts to this extreme step under enormous mental stress, usually triggered by mental illness, it would be a double blow to the survivor if a criminal case is slapped. Another remarkable feature of the legislation is introduction of advance directives. This gives people suffering from mental illness the right to choose their mode of treatment, and by nominating representatives who will ensure that their choices are carried out. Giving people the freedom to choose conveys a strong message that suffering from a mental disorder does not rob an individual of decision-making capacities. It makes clear that those diagnosed with mental illness are entitled to a life of dignity, and they must not have to live in isolation, away from their families or the community. It also bans the use of electric shock therapy for treating children with mental illness and permits only conditional shock therapy on adults after they have been administered anesthesia and muscle relaxants. The bill has made it a right for all citizens to access mental health care services.